Hey again, it's Brendan Reginbald, and I'm going to try a little something different. This time I'm going to be testing Eidolon of the Great Revel, and I'm going to do so in a red-black shell. And I've got the Black Cleave Cliffs, a couple Blood Crypts. I'm only using 6 fetch lands and some mountains, giving me 20 lands, which is a little bit, I usually play 19 land. So this will be 20. And the reason I'm up to 20 is because I have 12 2-drops instead of my typical 11. And 4 of those 2-drops are Searing Blazes. Also with bumps, it does give you a little bit of reach. If you hit 6 land, you can flash back a bump. So that's not so bad, because then if you have 5 land, drawing a 6th land is basically drawing a burn spell when you have bumps in your deck. And I've got the Lavamancers, Goblin Guides, Vexing Devils. I don't leave home without them. And in the sideboard, I've got Smashes, Searing Bloods, Rakdos Charm. Charm is essentially my anti-combo card. And I'm trying out a new card as well, Bloodchief Ascension. This could be good in like a grindier game where maybe against like a Merfolk deck or blue, white, red control. Maybe Merfolk isn't the right opponent to bring it in against, but um, maybe like a grinding deck, so like blue, white, red control or something like that. This also could be good in the mirror match. Trying it out, it seems relatively easy to get it turned on, so give it a shot. And I'm going to run this and see how it goes. Alright, let's see here. First hand, 5 land. We will mulligan. Alright, 2 lander. Definitely keep. Fetch. Get a mountain and suspend Riftbolt. I usually like to have one of my creatures in the opening hand, but you're on a mulligan, so you can't really complain about it. Looks like potentially Scapeshift here. If that's the case, then I need to be very careful with my life. Essentially, from this point forward, I'm not going to crack a fetch land. So I'm going to stay at 19 life, if at all possible. That forces my opponent to have more land in play than they probably would want to. I don't see any blue mana yet, so I'm holding my burn spells just to kind of get a feel in case he has like main deck Baloth or something. Search for tomorrow. Yep. So he's definitely trying to combo as quickly as he can. Can't really. Might as well actually. It looks like he's just full in on the ramp plan, so I'm just gonna unload. Alright, well, that's a dead card to me. Might as well hold my lands and not let him know that he probably has more time than he might think. He probably thinks that I have at least one burn spell in hand. So he probably thinks he max has 2 turns. So this is just a case of, well, I've drawn 3 lands, so my mulligan to 6 had 2 land, and I now have 5. So drawing lands after lands after lands is not good. Okay, a Jund. This could be interesting. Okay. I might as well draw 4 land if I'm going to draw 5. This is generally how I get my losses at PTQs. um, yep, that's going to do it. Generally what happens is I flood, which is something that is unfortunate that um, burn decks are very susceptible to because they have very little manipulation. My opponent had Magma Jet there, as you saw. It's very good. I have tried Magma Jet, and for as much as I've tried it, um, I just can't get over 2 mana for 2 damage. That drives me crazy. I almost wish I was playing my Blazing Grace deck instead, because then at least I would have Angel's Grace. But for this matchup, it looks like I'm safe to get rid of Searing Blazes, and I'm going to try out the Blood Chief's Ascensions, and I'm going to bring in a single smash. If he has Spellskite, I'll be glad I have that. You just never know. When I'm not sure what to board in, I bring in a smash. Alright, so it looks like we'll have a turn 1 Ascension, and then we'll hit him with a Goblin Guide, and then a Bump, and then a Lightning Bolt. So we should have an Ascension active by turn 3. That seems fairly good. So this is good. I'm very glad that we got this hand just so I can kind of test out this card. It certainly attacks from a different angle than what most decks would expect. Another thing that it gives me though is that when he Scapeshifts and all of his lands go to the graveyard, I gain 2 life for every land, which is going to undo a lot of the Valakut triggers. So let's play a second one since I happen to draw it, and get in with a Goblin Guide. Hopefully he doesn't have a Bolt here, because I'd really like to get the counters on my Ascensions as quickly as I can. Alright, excellent. Yes. And yes. Alright, fantastic. With as many shock lands that get played in Modern, Bloodchief Ascension can come online very quickly. It just, on this next turn, I can attack him with a Goblin Guide to put their second counters on, and then during his turn, I can bolt him. And that'll put their third counter on. Bloodchief Ascension can also be good against suspend cards like Search for Tomorrow. So if he suspends a Search for Tomorrow right now, I will have 3 counters on these by the time he by the time it comes off of suspend. So let's get in here with the Goblin Guide, and we'll play a Lavamancer. Yes, yes, pass. So on this turn, like if he goes to sacrifice his Heart Expedition, I'm going to gain 4 life. Bloodchief Ascension could be quite amazing here. Looks like we're going to get the other Heart Expedition in play, perhaps. Yeah, I'm not sure what his out is here. I don't think he can possibly win when I have 2 Ascensions in play. Yep, and I'm just going to bolt you to make sure that you take your 2 damage so that I can F6, and that's it. Yeah, Blood Chief Ascension was quite good there, actually. Quite good. Um, let's do it again. Okay, well, I'm sure that he has brought in some hate for my Blood Chief Ascensions. Alright, but I've got a pretty good draw here. Got my Vexing Devils. I do love my Vexing Devils against combo. No combo deck likes Vexing Devils. Okay, and we'll go Vexing Devil again. And we'll play a Blood Crypt tapped. Again, I'm going to try and stay above 18 life, if at all possible. It's going to be very difficult, by playing an Eidolon, but I can spike first, play an Eidolon second. This is good because we're getting to test the Eidolon. Alright, and he's taking 2 damage. Alright, so in that case, the Eidolon kept me above 18 life by soaking up the Magma Jet damage, and did him 2 damage. So I can't really complain about that. So we'll suspend and play a land and pass. And I think at this point he is just done for. Because if he has a Baloth, I have a Skullcrack. He does not have a Baloth. And Riftbolt coming off of Suspend just in time. And we draw the Skullcrack. And we get there.